So you just got back from Germany. How's the flight back?
Oh, dude, it was just incredible. What I'd like you to do is, I'll tell you the whole story here, but
Yeah.
if you could take some notes for me.
For sure.
Because what's important to me, what I saw, what happened, is what I want to do is I want to relay to all of our Shieldcore people, where if an instance like this happens, I want them to become leaders, take control, and whatever the cost is to calm people down, to get out of panic, you know, just relay that to them that Shieldcore will look after all the costs. It's time for us to help make a better place in this world.
Okay.
So anyways, let me tell you the story. So anyways, I get out of Heathrow and we get on the airplane, everything's going nice and smooth. I'm sitting in my, you know, watching a movie. And then just as we're going over Greenland, I guess, I noticed some of the stewardesses started walking with the oxygen container. And I noticed a little bit of a ruckus down in the left-hand side. So she comes back out and I said to her, I says, hey, I'm a PADI medic first aid instructor. Is there anything I can help you with? And she says, no, thank you very much. But we have a surgeon there. And I'm going, okay, surgeon trumps me 10 times, right? So away we go. So that started happening, and then I could see a little, you know, of course the passengers are wondering what's going on and stuff like that. So now the pilot did some excellent communication. He was right on the PA, let all the passengers know we have an incident, here's what's going on, and it's being dealt with. So it kind of calmed everyone down, and I take my hat off to the captain for doing that. And then a few minutes went on, and I noticed the surgeon who was over there, and unbelievable job from this surgeon. Took complete control of the situation, assessed what the person did, same thing I would have done, got him elevated, did all the right things, and monitored him, you know, throughout the whole thing. I take my hat off to that surgeon, probably one of the hardest things, you know, they had to do. And then I guess the decision was made that we're gonna do a U-turn over Greenland and land into Iceland because of the condition of the patient. And again, I take my hat off to that surgeon for making that decision. If it was me, I would want the same decision made.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I noticed with the BA crew, which was so cool, is what they did is they worked together, they assessed the situation, and kind of kept everyone calm on the plane, just like teamwork. And which is something I want to talk to about our employees, of course, too, but just to actually see teamwork like that in action is something I want to share with all of our employees. So anyways, they made the decision that we're going to land the plane. So the pilot came on board, or came on the PA, mentioned to us, you know, we have a medical emergency and we're going to be landing in Iceland of all places. So while that was going on again, the crew was doing an excellent job communicating with all the passengers, and the surgeon that was looking after the patient was monitoring. I mean, that patient was in unbelievable hands. So everything was cool on that. Like I say, I take my hat off to the crew. And it's something, like I say, I want to reinforce with our people, you know, that teamwork, 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 and it pays off in the end. So everything was kind of cool. So anyways, now we land in Iceland. And I tell you, that pilot was white knuckling it in. We got out there, 65-mile-an-hour winds, so I'm sure, oh yeah, it was crazy. So I'm sure the pilot had a, you know, kind of a job on his hands. But I'll tell you, take my hat off to that pilot. He landed that airplane and got us into it. So we pull into the terminal, and we had to wait, because of course we're in Iceland. There's nobody in the airport. I mean, the airport was bare.
What time was it?
Oh, geez, about 10:30 at night, or 11 o'clock at night. We were still on London time because the time changes, and late at night. And then, so the airplane was parked, and we had to wait for the people. All of a sudden, you can see the security people, everyone lining up, and boom. So what they did is they pulled us into the slot, and the plane was there, you know, was there.
Yeah.
The emergency personnel came onto the airplane, completely controlled, working with the staff of BA, completely controlled situation, no panic, very professional. I was very impressed with what they did. So once they left, of course, now we were told to disembark the airplane. So what they did is they opened up the doors, just going through, and they let the passengers go out. And I was still, you know, doing my thing. So down the gangway I went, and, you know, one thing that I did notice, there was absolutely no leadership. Once the doors were open, that was it. The passengers were kind of on their own. Started spilling out. So I'm walking down the gangway, or down the laneway, or whatever it is, and I notice right around the baggage area that all of the passengers are kind of converging around the area. I was just going to keep walking, but then, as you know, I'm a PADI scuba diving instructor, medic first aid instructor, and one thing I do know is I know when panic is starting. You know. So anyways, I heard the panic starting. People, where's our baggage? Where's this? Where's that? So what I had to do is take control of the situation. That's the only thing I could do. So what I said to the passenger, I go, hey, wait a sec. If you guys believe that there is a ground crew here that is actually going to take your baggage off this airplane and have it come around on this carousel and you're going to get your bags, everybody here is completely confused. The best thing you can do is follow me down here. Let's get out of the building. Let's assess the situation and go from there. Yeah. Well, after I did that, they followed me right down outside. I handed out about a package of cigarettes to everybody, to calm everyone down. So now I got everyone smoking my cigarettes outside, but it worked out really cool. Yeah. Everyone was really calm. At this point, still, we didn't have any, there was no one from the flight crew or anyone there. Yeah. Then the buses started to show up, these big buses, and the gentleman gets off the bus and he comes right to me for some reason. And, then makes the announcement to the mob as the mob got around him that, yes, we have hotels for you. We're going to bus you to the hotels. Everything's cool. Kind of calmed things down then. Everyone knew, okay, we had a place to stay. Yeah. So we're on the bus, going through beautiful Iceland, and what a barren country that is. Then we get to the hotel. So we get into the hotel. I was very lucky. I was, one of the first guys. And the owner of the hotel, I take my hat off to him too. He took a situation, they opened up their hearts, and they opened up their, the hotel for us just to look after us. So then the mob scene, of course, in the lobby way, trying to get through. Yeah. So I went up into my room really quickly and came back down, and then I just kind of scooted into the lounge, it's just to see what was happening. Yeah. Now the one thing that didn't make me very happy was I go up to this poor girl. These people have opened up their hearts to us, come on in, and we had a passenger starting to scream at this girl. British Airways should be paying for this, British Airways should be paying for this, how come they're not paying for food? So anyways, me, of course, I jumped in. Yeah. And I said, listen, sir, these people have opened up their hearts for us. They are doing their very, very best. They have as much information as we have. Let's just kind of give them a break here. And if you'd like, I'll buy you a beer on behalf of the CEO of British Airways. Totally. So anyways, after that all happened, I said to the girl, I says, listen, we've got some hungry people here. Let's get them fed and calm things down. I said, Domino's, Pizza Hut. She goes, Domino's? Oh, yeah. I said, get on the phone, order me 3 large meat lovers, and get them over here. Well, as soon as they heard that, of course, they're going, make it 4, make it 5. Yeah. So all of a sudden, these Domino's people are just loving us. Yeah. 3,500 kronens, whatever that works out to be, but we had pizza and we had beer. So we settled the whole situation down by buying some pizza and some beer. Now, it's another thing that I want you to iterate to our Shieldcore employees and everything like that. If they're in that situation and it takes a couple of pizzas and a couple of beers, buy the pizzas, buy the beers. Just make everyone happy and we'll deal with the situation after. Because like I say, our company is going to step up if that ever happens, and I encourage all of our employees to take the bull by the horns in that situation. And also I'm going to encourage any other CEOs that I meet, to do that with their staff too.
Well, you saw that it worked firsthand.
It worked. And what we, because what it is, let's change the way that we all live. Let's all work and help each other out. Yeah. Because most people would have just walked by it. So
that's their problem.
That's their problem. Yeah. But anyways, and then the BA staff, once they finished, the steward came in, to make sure that everything was all right. This is after the beer and pizzas, of course.
So the next day you caught your flight?
Oh yeah. So anyways, spent the night in the hotel, and it was, it was okay. The bed was cool. And then got up, they picked us up around 11 o'clock, supplied breakfast for us, of course, and coffee.
That's great.
And then picked us up with the buses, and boom, there we are, back to the airport again. So again, we're both the only people in this airport. I don't think they've ever had a 767 land in here before. So here we are, all these hundreds of people converging on the airport. Yeah. So anyways, it was time to go. Now, one thing that I was impressed of too, that I really want our staff to also know, is one of the stewards took his credit card. He bought 200 sandwiches and 200 bottles of water that they handed us before we went on the airplane.
Nice.
So basically what happened is the employee stepped up on his own credibility and did this. And of course on the announcement, he said, look, we've done this. I put it on my credit card and away we go. So back on the airplane, everyone has a sandwich and a bottle of water, but at least they have something. And then, like I say, the flight crew took over from there once we were going back to the same, excellent service. They looked after us, answered any questions. And one thing that impressed me is when they were on there, the first thing they did was update their first aid kit. Medic first aid instructor, right? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
So anyways, that's, which is pretty cool because safety, is their major concern. And that's about it, man. That was my trip. I landed in Calgary.
Yeah.
And then BA had a flight from Calgary to Vancouver for me.
That's good.
Time change, but that's the thing. But what I want to do is, again, let's get out to all our people at Shieldcore that we're here to make a difference.
Yeah.
Cool.
That sounds like a pretty wild adventure, but at least you took like a situation that could have been like a nightmare and you turned it into something where you could learn from it and make people's lives
Well,
a little
not only
easier.
learn from it, but I've learned also as being CEO and chairman of this company,
Yeah.
how important it is that we relay to our people to do the same thing. Too many people turn and would have kept walking.
Yeah.
Believe me, it would have been chaos. These people were starting to panic.
Yeah.
Right? So the important thing is what we want to do is, again, to the Shieldcore people, and I'm going to start spreading the word to every CEO I see and tell them to start spreading the word. Let's start making a difference.
Change the culture.
And if Shieldcore, like I say, can do that by telling our employees that if you're in this situation, I don't care what the cost is, and I'm the chairman, CEO, the buck stops here. Give us that invoice, whatever it is, and we will guarantee that you are looked after.
Customer
100%.
satisfaction. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I say, we're changing the culture. We're a little nanu company. I'm just a little CEO, but it has to start somewhere.
Yeah. Plant the seed. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Cool, man. So yeah, if you could share that with our employees,
Yeah, I will.
and away we go, and that's great.